if you're ready for some spring cleaning and organization, my next guest is here to help. Theresa Bowman is a designer with ShelfGenie of Seattle, and she's back to show us the latest trends that can make your kitchen both beautiful and practical. That's something we all want, obviously. Hello again.
Hello.
So I love this time of year where there's a ton of home shows going on. So what are some of the design trends that you're seeing?
So what we normally see is fixing what's on the outside or changing what's on the outside, like different colors, patterns, and textures. But what we're seeing now is people want to be able to stay organized without constantly decluttering. They need a better system for that. They want better functionality in their space, and they want to live well in their space as well as age well in their space. And so we focus on what's going on in the inside, behind your cabinet doors.
Oh, so important. And ShelfGenie, I feel like most people know about you guys, but if they don't, tell us about ShelfGenie.
So we design, build, and install custom glide outs to your existing cabinetry and your pantries.
Okay, and we're gonna look at some examples too on how custom storage works in the kitchen. So let's start with the pantry.
So yeah, we always look for what is the source of your headache, and the pantry can be a big one because some folks are just like, I just don't like it, or it's a big mess, it can be wasted space. And so for folks, what we like to start out with is just like, are they having mobility issues? Does it hurt to bend down? Does it make sense to keep short things on the bottom, or start with maybe like tall things so you don't have to bend down as much, or maybe the heavier things?
That's what I was thinking, heavy, like have that lower.
That's right. And then for things you're gonna use more frequently, you want it more like eye level, easy to read, easy to access if you're gonna have a lot of it. And then if you're kind of like us where we have petite problems, right? Petite problems. Or maybe like 3 inches shorter. If you have a 7-foot cabinet, this is still easy to access and still easy to put away. And so if you have something where like, I don't know where your bakeware lives, it could be in the oven, it could be in another cabinet.
Yeah, and we have a before and after too that we want to show.
Right.
So explain what we're seeing here.
So this is kind of like a typical thing that we come into where it's like they might have a shelf or a half shelf where they're like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. So they just have a pile of bakeware. They love doing that with their family, but it's just not as fun to do because it's a pain to pull it out.
Yeah.
And so if we don't put it in a cabinet pantry, we can put it in a lower cabinet with dividers so you can see everything that you have.
I love dividers. To be able to see what you have, like you said, just makes life so much easier.
Exactly.
And it looks like you can fit a lot more in all of these spaces. So how does that design make it happen?
So we look at everything that they have, and it's not just things that already live in the pantry. We custom build to the nearest millimeter. So if you have like 4 or 5 levels of just like those wooden shelves, we can really maximize how much you put in here. So we can maybe move it to like 7, 8, or 9 levels, whatever makes sense. So if there's things in another closet or in the garage, it can live here.
And that's a before too, right? Of one of your clients. And then let's show the design. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so we also teach them how to organize and how their things are going to live, and what we install and how things are put back matches what we collaboratively design during their design consults.
That is amazing to see the before and afters. I'm obsessed with seeing those. And we want to talk pots and pans. A lot of us store them, including myself, in the lower cabinets, would make it a little difficult. This is a before. This honestly looks like my apartment. Hello, welcome home.
Right?
How can ShelfGenie help with something like that?
So a lot of times is like, we'll look at what's happening. Like, is there a lot of stacking? Are there things that are not as easy to access, right? Like the same trend that we're seeing, but what does it look like to fix it? Is if it makes sense to do 2 levels, great. If it makes sense to do 3 levels, we can totally do that. So that way, like only pans live on 1 level, only bakeware lives on 1 level, only like storage or cooking appliances or utensils or accessories live in 1 level. So 1, 2, or 3 is where you're gonna go every time you open it up.
Gosh, that is so helpful for the big pots and pans that everyone, just organized so much better. Okay.
Everything in the back.
Yes, everything in the back you can see. Okay, and how about under your sink? What's possible there? What are we seeing?
Lots possible. I think a lot of people like forget or don't even think to ask about designing in this space because they think about the plumbing, the electrical. And so because we can customize to the nearest millimeter, we can take advantage of things like previously unused vertical space. And so we talked about—
Oh, that comes out?
Yep,
yes.
By itself if you want it to. Otherwise, we have this guy right over here.
Oh, wow.
And so we look at things like, what's the placement of your dishwasher? Can we put dishwasher pods next to where your dishwasher is?
Right.
If you have like a small little trash can, we can keep your trash can accessories or cleaning accessories where you're going to use it instead of in a different space in your home.
And we're gonna see a real life example too of this. Okay, there's the before, and then we're going to see, after. So much better. That vertical space, like
Yep.
just so cool. Okay, what's the best way for people to get a quote?
So if they want to get a quote, they can always go to shelfgenie.com/Seattle, but we do have a special offer for your first 15 callers.
I know, and I'm gonna tell everyone about that now. Thank you so much for being here.
It's
We
been
so
fun.
appreciate it. And like Theresa just said, ShelfGenie has a special offer for New Day viewers. The first 15 callers will receive a free professional design consultation and free installation. Just call the number that you see right there on your screen.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by ShelfGenie.